Hello my friends, Pyrex is here, and it's July, it's after the 4th, I think it's like the 10th today. Had some fireworks. My neighbors over here, they got those real expensive ones that they shoot with the cannons up in the air. We've had two of our neighbors had that, so had a nice display right here close to the house. Today I'm still not quite healthy enough to go for hikes because that fall that I mentioned before on these steps here, you can see, like I said, the mark where I slipped and where my arm hit, where my leg hit down here. You can see this leg is still swollen up pretty bad on the left, and I don't want it to be too nasty, but just so you all can see what I was dealing with, this got all infected. I can't even see it that well, but it got infected, and then I had some little bout with sepsis where my body started attacking itself, and that was miserable. But I'm starting to get better now, so I'm starting to get my energy back. Thought I'd just go on a little tour of the yard, see how my gardening is doing. It's not doing very well this year. It just rained all day today. It finally let up. Sky's cleared, but as usual, you see I got my pretty impatiens up here on the porch so that people from the road can see how pretty, all the pretty flowers. I had to replant my Oregon sugar pod peas. I got a whole bunch of them. I was eating them every day, the sugar pods peas out of there. So I got a new, I pulled all the old vines because they were dying. So I'll have much of those to munch on. Every year I put peppers in these, and for some reason I always get this purslane growing in here every year, which is actually, I let it grow because it's a very healthy weed basically, and it has amino acids that most plants don't have, you know, that mostly you find in meat. Peppers on this side too, which they never do very well, but I still do it every year. I don't know why. I suppose things could be better. Now the cucumbers, they did really well up until this last couple weeks of the heat in the 90s. Just like did this to them, and I kept them watered and everything, and killed off most of my cucumbers. I still got a few though, so different varieties. Like this one here is one of those long ones, and then I got some picklers down here. You can see we got a bunch of little guys there. Hopefully, now these little ones here, these are called the Mexican sour. Right here, they never die. Those things just grow through anything. So you got a little lamb's quarter. That's another weed that's supposedly pretty healthy. I replanted some more cucumbers in here, but I haven't come up yet. So, but I planted like cucumbers just everywhere. Like in this pot, you can see them there. Then I got my blueberries. They're almost all gone. I've been plucking them and just eating them every day. But these two bushes here, one is a Patriot. The other one, I can't remember what the other one is. They gave me like those little 16-ounce containers like the sour cream and stuff comes in. I must have got 6 or 7 of those from these bushes this year. I was giving them away to the neighbors. Then we got my permanent potato patch. This is where I just piled up some pine needles right here in this circle, and threw in my kitchen scraps, and some potatoes sprouted from the rotten potatoes, and now I've got a permanent patch. I just reach down in those pine needles and get potatoes whenever I need them, and there's like 6 or 7 varieties. Somehow managed to get a little pawpaw tree started in here. I don't know if I'm going to let that grow or take it out or what, but I don't know, we'll see. I got some tubs over here that I just plant random stuff. I'm letting these radishes go to seed just so I can get the seeds for next year. Some onions in here. The deer came up and ate all my lettuce. It's like, oh, the deer love it. It took them a while to get brave enough to come up through here, but that mama deer, I've been out here watching her, spotlighting her, and she comes closer every night. And yeah, so she finally got up here, and 2 nights ago ate all my lettuce. My honeyberries, my honeyberry plants, 2 of those. Those are kind of like blueberries, but these plants haven't been very productive so far. Carrots, of course. Got some beets in those containers. Everything in the pots and containers seem to be doing good. Here's, of course, where my beans grow up on the... You can see all the beans sprouting everywhere. I got a couple of tomatillo plants that they're doing really well in this planter. Now there's actually garlic all in here, but this heat killed it all off, and it's like you can see most of it's all gone. There's still a couple of them, but it'll probably re-sprout in the fall whenever the temperatures get cooler. But yeah, the beans are really starting to take off, and just from this row here and this row against the carport, I usually end up getting about 100 pounds of green beans every year. Then I got a bunch of squash against here. You can see various kinds of summer squash, bush squash. And yeah, I actually raised my raised beds even more. I put a second tier on them. So now you can see they've all got 1, 2. I put the second one in on the whole thing. For some reason, the new dirt that I put in there must not have been broken down enough, because everything's stunted where I put the new dirt in. Everything just seems to be, I mean, I've got stuff that's sprouted in there, but it just doesn't want to grow. As you can see, like these cucumbers along here and the watermelons and other melons, the plants are just stunted. They just don't want to grow, because I think that I should have done it in the fall, you know, and given the soil some time to break down. But oh well, lessons learned, I guess, you know. And yeah, that's use some more summer squash over here. And then we've got the vining things like pumpkins and other kinds of vining squash. I don't think I'm going to get anything out of them this year, because got a little bit of cilantro and dill on the edges here, but like I said, that new dirt that I put in just doesn't seem broken down enough. Probably next year it'll be better. I also put in these 2 rings here, and I started these cherry trees from seed, from cherry pits from the store. Well, the deer got to this one. Dang nabbit. Hopefully it'll come back. I can see some buds on there, so yeah, and they're starting to sprout. So he probably didn't kill it, but dang nabbit, he did a number on it. Oh, and this yesterday, right here in the center of the yard, I actually got to see a sight. It was, I think, a sharp-shinned hawk came down and got one of the robins, and he was like right there in the middle of the yard. So I was here looking out the kitchen window up there, so I got to see him. Yeah. Now, I don't got nothing planted in these, but they sprouted some more of that lamb's quarters. Yeah, and got a little raspberry started there. I got raspberries all over the place in this yard. I got more beans over here. That I just threw beans in there and let them grow themselves. I didn't really till it or anything. My pear tree right there. That little tree there is a pear tree that I started from seed many years ago. See, there's a patch of raspberries that they're almost all gone now. I ate most of those. Got a little peach tree that's struggling there. My little cherry bush. Yeah, and then my pawpaw trees are getting nice. This one's the only one that, well, this one flowered this year. I think this one's gonna flower next year. My 2 chestnut trees, Chinese chestnuts. And then these 2 will probably flower as well. I know this one will, because it had a single flower on it this year. It had 1 single flower on it. But of course, because only the 1 tree flowered, I don't have any fruit this year. My spice bush, the wind snapped it off here, took half of it out, so I'm letting this new branch, I'm kind of trying to shape it into more of a tree rather than a bush. But you can see my spice bush has lots of berries on it. And I had put these new stumps in there from that tree that fell. Now this, I found out this is a white mulberry tree, because this thing was loaded with mulberries not too long ago, like a month and a half ago. But the squirrels love these mulberries. Oh my gosh, I'd watch from the kitchen window and those squirrels would just be devouring. He'd be hanging on the slimmest little branch to get to those mulberries. So I ate a few, but you know, the squirrels got most of them. Got my neighbor mowing his grass over here, or got my other little patch here where I got some pawpaw trees. They're slower growing because they're in deeper shade, and there's some over there too. More raspberries, of course. And right here, that is my, he comes up every year. That's my American ginseng. There's another American ginseng right there that sprouted last year and came up this year too. So, you know, just little patches I like to make and throw in random stuff. It's where my sassafras trees grow. Got more pawpaws there and there and there. And more raspberries, of course. A couple of oak trees. Yep, and here was the project. I didn't get to do a lot on it. I mean, it's been shown in other videos, like whenever I had the little deer, he was sitting in here, but I'm gonna highlight it now. This was the, you know, before, this was last year's actually project, putting in this wall back here. And mostly I just wanted it so, you know, it'd be easier to mow the grass. But I put this in and got it finished. And then I put in 2 persimmon trees. This one's a persimmon tree. And this one's another persimmon tree over here. So hopefully at least one of them will be a female and have fruit. Hopefully I don't have 2 males. And then my fig trees, which I was sad that the main trunk died off from the cold, but 2 of the 3 resprouted. So you can see this first one. This is a Celeste fig, cold hardy variety. This is a brown turkey fig that resprouted. Unfortunately, the Chicago hardy doesn't seem to be coming back. Maybe because I didn't put the cover this enough with the roots or something. I don't know, but for some reason that one didn't survive. But the other 2, you know, they're kind of trying. They're coming along. They seem to be struggling though. And other than that, you know, that's pretty much all the major stuff I planted. But yeah, like I said, I put that little wall in myself and didn't do the best job, but you know, it's nice. It makes it easier to mow back here. You don't have to mow up that little incline, you know. And then back here, the last little spot, my back woodsy area, I've got more pawpaw trees. And with all, yeah, see there's a nice little, that little cluster of pawpaws there. Nice little pawpaw there. A little one next to it there. And these raspberries are just taking over here. Oh my gosh, I see I got some wild raisins on the shrub back there. And here's, look at these raspberries. Oh. Yeah, those are some nice plump juicy ones, but I'm not going back there to get them. Yep. So that's pretty much it. Oh, we got some dewberries too down here, and some, yep, dewberries sticking out. Here's a dark one. That one's probably good to eat, but not quite ripe yet. Yep. I like the dewberries better than the blackberries. They tend to get plumper, I think, because they get more moisture because they grow low to the ground instead of those big arcs. But that's pretty much how this year's gardening projects are going. So just thought I'd catch up on that since I'm still hobbling a little bit, and my foot keeps swelling up and getting that edema in it. But I did manage to take a walk across the street over there. There's a nice area on the other side of that road where that car just went, where it's got all kinds of wild blueberries and elderberries and wild strawberries. It's just got tons of different kind of berries, blackberries, raspberries, dewberries, everything. And it's also got apples and crab apples and all kinds of wild stuff that grows back there. So it tends to attract a lot of wildlife. But yeah, been working, trying to get the yard more level. Got to fill all this in from there to there. Got to get it all flat and level. But that's pretty much the progress of everything going on. Just for a little update. Oh, like I said, this leg, oh man, when I fell, ooh, that was miserable. That was not fun at all. All right, well, hope you enjoyed the little tour this year. Nothing special, like I said, just a little something to get something on film since I haven't really been doing anything lately. But maybe by next week I'll be able to get back to my hiking schedule. So hopefully that'll, hopefully I'll be able to do that. Then we'll get out there and I'll have some good adventures that I can share with you. So take care, everybody. God bless. Kind of, hope you didn't miss seeing me too much, but hopefully I'll be out a little bit more. All right, see y'all. Bye.